Sophie and Caitlin Clark going rogue. This is the smile of we did it. We did it. We got away with it. It worked. I hope we don't get in trouble in the locker room. People argued with me saying Caitlin was the primary action. Well, Sophie posted this on her Instagram.
Look at that smile. That's not just celebration. That's the face of someone who just got away with something. Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark went completely rogue in the final seconds against Washington, ignoring their coach's play call entirely. And when you find out what the actual play was supposed to be, you'll understand why they had no choice but to improvise.
Down one with 8 seconds left to go, and the hope, pray for a foul. Pray that the referees put you on the foul line. The referees who we complain about every single game, just pray that they put you on the foul line. You can't make this stuff up.
Down 1 point, 8 seconds left. And the Indiana Fever's coaching staff drew up a play to get Kelsey Mitchell the ball and hope for a foul call. Not a shot, not a designed action to win the game. Just get fouled and pray the referees bail you out. The same referees that Fever fans complain about every single night. That was the actual game plan with a playoff berth on the line. Lexie Hull spilled the details in her post-game interview. Sophie Cunningham confirmed it on Instagram. And Caitlin Clark's reaction tells you everything you need to know about what really happened in that huddle. This wasn't the first time Clark has gone off script this season, and the pattern reveals something far more concerning about Stephanie White's control over this locker room.
And subscribe to the channel, that would mean so much to me. Appreciate all of the support. Sophie Cunningham comes out stressing me the F out. Why would we be stressed out? So, if Sophie Cunningham plays less than 20 minutes next game, now we know. If Sophie Cunningham plays less than 20 minutes, if Lexie Hull, if she finds herself in the doghouse, if Caitlin Clark gets...
Sophie Cunningham posted this on Instagram after the game, with a caption that should terrify Indiana's front office. Quote, "Don't follow the plan. One didn't follow the plan anyway. Oops, we may have improvised. Worth it." Caitlin Clark commented. Raven Johnson commented. Lexie Hull commented. These players are openly celebrating the fact that they ignored their head coach in the most critical moment of the game. Now watch Stephanie White's reaction on the sideline when that shot goes in. That's not pure joy. That's relief mixed with something else. Watch her give Caitlin the side eye as she's walking back. That's a coach who just realized her players don't trust her play calling enough to execute it when the game is on the line.
Damn, that's crazy. And then AB on a mismatch? Oh no, this isn't good. Then you're watching from the bench and you're just shaking your head. Nah, this ain't gonna work. And then you see Sophie, wait, she didn't give it to Kelsey. Wait, that's not allowed to AB. Oh my, they're going rogue. They're going rogue. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. Splash. Game over. Lexie Hull, this is exactly what Lexie Hull said. Grab your sick bags. Quote, "We were trying to draw a foul there. Everybody..."
The play design was simple according to Lexie Hull's breakdown. Kelsey Mitchell was the primary option to draw a foul. If that didn't work, Aaliyah Boston on a mismatch was the secondary option for Caitlin Clark. Those were the two choices. Get Kelsey fouled or find Boston inside. Sophie Cunningham's job was to inbound the ball and execute that action. Instead, Sophie looked at the defense, saw Caitlin Clark with space, and made an executive decision. She delivered a perfect pass to Clark on the wing. Clark rose up and buried a three-pointer that won the game. The play that was designed never happened. The coaching staff's instructions were completely ignored. And based on the players' reactions, this wasn't a split-second decision born from chaos. This was a calculated choice to go against orders. Think about what that means. In the most pressurized moment of the season, with the game on the line, veteran players looked at their coach's play call and collectively decided that they had a better idea. That's not improvisation.
Caitlin's a great basketball player. She made a read. Sophie was able to deliver a perfect pass to her. She knocked it down when it mattered. I can't say that's exactly what we drew up, but it worked, so we'll take it any day of the week. Again, I'm telling you right now, Caitlin Clark's gone rogue in this offense a few times. Caitlin Clark's gone rogue in this offense a few times. All the times that we as spectators are like, wait, she's going.
Remember when Sophie Cunningham went public earlier this season, saying the Fever only have one defensive scheme? Remember when players were visibly frustrated with rotation decisions? This isn't happening in isolation. There's been tension building between Stephanie White's system and what the players believe gives them the best chance to win. And here's what makes this particularly damaging. Caitlin Clark has been going rogue all season. Watch the games back with this context. How many times have we seen Clark wave off a play call and just go into her own action? How many times has she ignored the set offense and created something out of nothing? We assumed it was just her competitive fire taking over. But what if it's been intentional insubordination this entire time? Lexie Hull's exact words were, "We were trying to draw a foul there. Caitlin's a great basketball player. She made a read. Sophie was able to deliver a perfect pass to her. She knocked it down when it mattered. I can't say that's exactly what we drew up, but it worked, so we'll take it any day of the week." That's diplomatic language for, we completely ignored the coach and did our own thing.
Look at Stephanie White's reaction. Ah, damn. Damn. Come on. I wasn't supposed to go in. I got Caitlin Clark on the under 17.5 points. You guys, man, come on. You guys just blew my bet. You guys just blew my bet. And there she is, giving Caitlin the side eye. Giving CC the side eye for making that. Oh, you can't make this stuff up.
Look at Stephanie White's body language again. Watch this carefully. The shot goes in. Game over, Fever win. And her first reaction isn't to celebrate. It's almost like frustration. Her hands go up, but there's hesitation. Then she looks at Caitlin, and there's this moment where you can see the conflict. She's happy they won, but she knows what just happened. Her authority was undermined in front of 20,000 fans and a national television audience. Now the question becomes, what does she do about it? If Sophie Cunningham's minutes get cut in the next game, we'll know. If Lexie Hull finds herself in the doghouse, we'll know. If Caitlin Clark gets pulled early in the first quarter for no apparent reason, we'll know. Because that's how coaches reassert control when players step out of line. You punish them with playing time. But here's the problem. The Fever won. The improvised play worked. Clark hit the biggest shot of the season. How do you discipline players for winning the game? How do you tell your team don't do that again, when doing that is the reason you're still in playoff contention?
As the kids would say.
How much confidence did you have in her hitting that one?
Pretty high. Honestly, I saw it kind of go up. I'm like, yeah, that's money. And I think that that was the way it was written up. And I think, really honestly, you just try to let your personnel do the work. I'm going to trust her every time, and I think it was a good shot.
They call you the ultimate pro of this team, the one that just...
You guys let me know. You guys let me know. What do you think about Kelsey Mitchell's comments there? What do you think?
Kelsey Mitchell's reaction in the post-game interview is fascinating. Listen to her words, but watch her face. She's asked about her confidence in Caitlin hitting that shot. She says, pretty high. Honestly, I saw it kind of go up. I'm like, yeah, that's money. Then she adds, that was the way it was written up. You just try to let your personnel do the work. I trust her every time. That's interesting phrasing. That was the way it was written up. Was it though, Kelsey? Because Lexie Hull just told us the play was designed for you to draw a foul. Sophie Cunningham posted on Instagram that they didn't follow the plan. So either Kelsey is covering for her teammates, or she's being diplomatic about the fact that she was supposed to be the primary option and got completely bypassed. Watch her expression when she says it. That's not the face of someone who's thrilled about how the play unfolded. That's the face of a veteran all-star who just watched her team's best play get scrapped in favor of giving the ball to the rookie. Again, for the 100th time this season.
Welcome to the Benzano Podcast, what we're calling a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham went rogue last night against the Washington Mystics. Game winner. And when you find out how this play was actually supposed to go, grab a sick bag, grab a garbage can. It might actually make you want to throw.
Let's talk about the actual play design for a second, because it reveals everything wrong with Stephanie White's coaching philosophy this season. You're down 1 point. You have Caitlin Clark, the best shooter in the league, a player who's been hitting clutch shots since high school. You have 8 seconds to work with, and your plan is to get Kelsey Mitchell fouled? Not even a design shot for Mitchell. Just get her the ball and hope she draws contact. Hope the referees make the right call. Hope they don't swallow the whistle like they do constantly in the WNBA. Your entire game plan hinges on the competence of officials that your own fan base has been criticizing all season long. That's not a winning strategy. That's desperation masked as a play call, and your players knew it. That's why they ignored it. Here's what should have happened. You design a play to get Caitlin Clark an open look. She's shooting 40% from 3. She's been the most clutch player on your roster all season. She's the reason you're even in this position. You put the ball in her hands and you let her decide the game. That's not complicated basketball. That's basic logic. Instead, Stephanie White drew up a play that required perfect execution, favorable officiating, and Kelsey Mitchell to somehow get fouled on a game-winning attempt without traveling or committing an offensive foul. The degree of difficulty on that play compared to just giving Clark a catch-and-shoot three is absurd, and your players recognized it immediately. So what does this mean for the rest of the season? The Fever have 33 games left. 33 more opportunities for this tension to boil over. Because make no mistake, this isn't going away. Stephanie White's authority has been fundamentally undermined. Her players don't trust her play calling in crucial moments. They're willing to ignore her instructions when they disagree, and they're celebrating that insubordination publicly on social media. That's a crisis, not a minor issue, not a small disagreement, a full-blown crisis of leadership. And here's what makes it even more complicated. The Fever are winning. They're in playoff position. Caitlin Clark is playing at an MVP level. The offense is rolling. So from the outside, everything looks fine. But internally, there's a fundamental breakdown in the coach-player relationship that's going to explode at some point. Think about what happens the next time Stephanie White draws up a play that the players don't like. What's stopping them from ignoring it again? They did it once and it worked. They got celebrated for it. Caitlin Clark's game winner is going to be on highlight reels for years. Sophie Cunningham's pass is going to be remembered as the perfect read. Nobody's going to remember that they completely disregarded their coach's instructions to make it happen. So the precedent is set. When you disagree with the play call, just do your own thing. And if it works, you're a hero. If it doesn't work, well, at least you didn't run that terrible play the coach drew up. That's a toxic dynamic, and it's only going to get worse unless someone addresses it immediately. Now let's talk about Caitlin Clark specifically, because this isn't the first time she's gone off script. Watch the film from earlier in the season. There are dozens of possessions where Clark waves off the play call and just goes into isolation. Sometimes it works brilliantly, sometimes it doesn't. But the pattern is consistent. She doesn't always trust the offensive system. And you know what? She might be right not to trust it. The Fever's offensive rating is significantly higher when Clark is making decisions on the fly compared to when they're running set plays. The numbers back up her instincts. But that doesn't change the fact that she's undermining her coach's authority every time she does it. This is the challenge of coaching a generational talent. Caitlin Clark is good enough that her improvisations are often better than the designed play. She sees the game at a level that most coaches can't even comprehend. So when she looks at a play call and thinks, I have a better idea, she's usually correct. But you can't run a team that way. You can't have your best player just freelancing whenever she feels like it. That's how you lose the locker room. Except in this case, it seems like Stephanie White has already lost the locker room. The players are siding with Caitlin. They're enabling her to go rogue. They're celebrating when she ignores the coach. That's not a sustainable situation. And here's the thing that nobody wants to say out loud. Maybe Stephanie White isn't the right coach for this team. Maybe she's a good coach who's in over her head with a roster that's too talented for her system. Maybe the Fever needs someone who can command respect from veterans and superstars. Someone who can design plays that the players actually want to run. Because right now, the evidence suggests that the players don't believe in what she's doing. They don't trust her play calling. They don't respect her authority enough to follow instructions in the biggest moments. And they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Sophie Cunningham posting about it on Instagram is the most damning part. That's not a private conversation in the locker room. That's a public declaration that they went against the coach and they're proud of it. Caitlin Clark commenting on it co-signs that message. Other players piling on reinforces it. This is a team-wide sentiment, not just one or two players being difficult. The Indiana Fever front office has a decision to make. Do they back their coach and risk alienating their players? Or do they side with the players and start looking for a new coach? Because this situation isn't going to resolve itself. You can't have players openly defying coaching instructions and celebrating it on social media without consequences. But what are the consequences when the defiance leads to winning? That's the impossible position the Fever are in. If they punish the players, they're punishing winning basketball. If they do nothing, they're endorsing insubordination. There's no good option here. My prediction? This gets worse before it gets better. There's going to be another moment this season where a play breaks down or a decision gets questioned and the tension is going to explode. Maybe it's a loss. Maybe it's a public argument. Maybe it's a player requesting a trade or a coach getting fired mid-season. But something is going to give, because this dynamic is unsustainable. And when it happens, remember this game. Remember Sophie Cunningham's Instagram post. Remember Lexie Hull's diplomatic explanation. Remember Stephanie White's side-eye on the bench. All the warning signs were there. The Fever just chose to ignore them because they won the game. So here's my question for you. Was Sophie Cunningham right to ignore the play call? Should players have the autonomy to override their coach when they think they have a better option? Or is this a dangerous precedent that undermines the entire concept of coaching? Let me know in the comments, because this is only going to become a bigger issue as the season goes on. Hit that like button if you want to see more breakdowns like this, and subscribe because we're going to be following this story closely. The Fever's season just got a lot more interesting, and it has nothing to do with what's happening on the court.